There is one thing that every Christian across centuries, cultures, and denominations agree on, and that is Jesus. Not how church should be organized, not how worship should look, not even the same understanding of authority, but Jesus Christ. But despite that shared center, Christianity is deeply divided, institutionally, theologically, and historically, which raises a very difficult question. If Christians follow the same Christ, why is it so fractured? And more importantly, can those fractures ever be healed? And can eucharism solve this? One of the earliest and most explosive controversies in Christianity wasn't about politics or power. It was about who Jesus actually is or was. In the 4th century, Christians fiercely debated whether Jesus was fully divine or a created being, exalted but not equal to God. This dispute led to the Council of Nicaea in 325 CE. The council affirmed what became a cornerstone of Orthodox Christianity. Jesus Christ is fully divine, of the same essence as the Father. This wasn't just theology. It was about salvation, worship, and the nature of God. And while Nicaea produced the Nicene Creed, it also set a pattern. Christian unity would often be forged through conflict, not consensus. Even today, debates about Christ's divinity quietly shaped who is recognized as Christian and who is not. For centuries, Christianity remained institutionally united, but tensions were building. Differences in language, culture, theology, church authority, that culminated to the Great Schism of 1054. Christianity split into the Roman Catholic Church in the West and the Eastern Orthodox Church in the East. At the center of the conflict was authority. Does ultimate authority rest in the Bishop of Rome, that being the Pope, or is authority shared among bishops? Now, this wasn't a minor disagreement. It permanently fractured Christianity into two worlds that, for centuries, barely recognized each other as legitimate. Eucharism, in this sense, is an attempt to heal a 1,000-year-old wound. If the Great Schism divided Christianity geographically, the Protestant Reformation shattered it internally. In the 16th century, figures like Martin Luther challenged the Roman Catholic Church over authority, salvation, scripture versus tradition, corruption within the church. Now, Luther didn't initially want to start a new church, but his challenge led to Lutheranism, and soon after, a cascade of new Protestant traditions. What followed wasn't just theological disagreement. In fact, it was violence. Europe saw wars of religion, persecution, executions, entire communities being torn apart. Catholics and Protestants didn't just disagree, they killed each other. That history still lingers in church memory and makes unity emotionally complex, not just doctrinally, but very much difficult. Now, these splits weren't random. They revolved around fundamental questions. Who is Jesus? Who has authority? What counts as authentic Christianity? And those questions haven't gone away. Even today, churches disagree on who Jesus really is, on sacraments, salvation, leadership, moral teaching. Eucharism doesn't ignore these controversies. It sits inside them. It asks whether disagreements must always mean separation, or whether unity can exist without uniformity. Now, can unity actually exist? Is it possible? Well, if unity means one structure, one theology, one authority, then realistically, probably not. Disclaimer, I, the author, do identify as Christian, but even so, when I meet with other Christians, I find that our beliefs that we have been taught in our respective religious communities differ, sometimes by a lot. But eucharism isn't aiming for that. In fact, eucharism aims for mutual recognition, shared prayer, cooperation, a refusal to treat difference as heresy by default. It asks whether Christians can remain divided without being hostile. Now, that may not sound dramatic, but historically, it is revolutionary. Eucharism today doesn't look like a single church or a shared hierarchy. It looks actually much quieter than that. It looks like churches that once condemned each other are now sitting at the same table. It looks like joint statements on doctrine where agreement was once thought impossible. It looks like shared prayer, shared service, and cooperation on issues that affect real people. And it also looks very much incomplete. Eucharism hasn't erased division, and it hasn't resolved every controversy, but it has changed the posture from confrontation to conversation. In a tradition shaped by centuries of separation that shift matters, Eucharism today is less about becoming the same and more about learning how to disagree without denying one another's faith. And in a divided world, that might be one of the most Christian things the church still tries to do. But I want to ask you, the audience, do you believe that unity of all Christians is still possible? Let me know in the comments. Thank you.